Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Sergeant and Mrs. Smith, you're going to love this house.
Is that a tub in the kitchen?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
Hey, you know, even though the government is providing you with 3 hots and a cot while you're in custody, you still get money to buy food and stimulus check, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is this a great country or what?
Yes.
How long were you in custody?
This is the plaintiff, Natasha Fontanet. She says the defendant's her boyfriend's buddy, who was in jail and asked her to cash his government stimulus check for him. And she agreed to do it for $250. Then, a few weeks later, when the defendant got out of jail, he called the bank to say the check was cashed fraudulently. $1,200 was deducted from her account, and the defendant won't pay her back the $1,200 she's now out. That's why she's suing. This is the defendant, Anthony Lindsay. He says he never received the $1,200 stimulus check the government was giving out. So the IRS opened an investigation, and they traced the check to the plaintiff. He never asked her to do anything illegal. She stole his check and is now suing him. If anyone's owed money today, it's him. He's accused of conducting funny business. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for money owed to him.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right. Natasha Fontanet, you are suing Anthony Lindsay for $1,200 that you say he owes you and refuses to repay. You have a counterclaim against her for $500 that you say she still owes you. Let's talk about what happened between you folks. How is it that you two know each other? Okay, front and center, please. And this is who?
This is my boyfriend.
And what's your name?
Demarius.
All right. Now, you two are the ones who are friends.
Yes,
or
ma'am.
were.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
All right. Now, you get a call from him asking you to do what?
No, I reached out to him when I found out that the inmates can get stimulus because he's my buddy and I had been looking out for him while he was down there. And I wanted to, look out for him.
How did you reach out to somebody in jail?
They communicate.
Yeah,
they were communicating. He was calling him.
Okay, so he reaches out to you and you
just
tell him, hey, even though the government is providing you with 3 hots and a cot while you're in custody, you still get money to buy food and stimulus check, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is this a great country or what?
Yes.
How long were you in custody?
4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And everyone in custody was able to get a stimulus check.
Yes, ma'am.
Hot damn. It's just something, huh? Okay. All right. So, and is he the one who clued you into that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So then what do you ask him to do?
He told me he would file it for me.
Okay. And were you
so
going to be paying him anything in return for him filing it for you?
he was just going to file it for me.
He was just going to do it for you?
Yes.
Is that accurate?
She was going to do it for him, and she was charging a fee.
Yeah, but she was charging him a fee, but she's not talking to him. So how does he know he's supposed to pay a fee? Like, how does that happen?
I talked to him. I wrote him in the JPay, and he was like, go, and I told him I could do it for him, and she wanted to charge a fee.
So I called JPay because
What is JPay?
JPay is a way that you can communicate with inmates in the state of Texas. I don't know if it's everywhere. Matter of fact, you have a copy of the monies that I sent to him through JPay.
I'd like you to pull up the JPEG account. So according to you guys, he agrees to pay the $250 service charge that you're charging him for what? For what?
The $250.
Because I know how easy it is to get that stimulus check, but you're charging him $250.
Because it's my time.
It's your time. It's 5 minutes. It's not even
It's
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
It's
of
1
my
minute.
time.
It's one. You make $250 for a minute.
Hey,
so
that's not my
you're his good friend, but she's going to charge $250 to do that, right?
I don't know how to do that. I'm looking out for my buddy.
You're looking out for her too if you're telling him, hey, you got to pay $250 to get the service done.
Well, he didn't have nobody out here to do it for him. So I reached out to him and let him know because I was already sending him money and kept asking. So that's my buddy. I didn't mind but I got to go. If she's going to do it and she say she wants this, and I'll put the information.
What is this a screenshot or is this
that is the website, and his name is you see his name.
And this is how you communicate?
You communicate with...
Can you send money too?
And you can send money.
All right. So according to you then, you're going to get $250, and he tells you that through JPay, you say?
It wasn't $250, it was $200. The numbers is wrong.
Okay.
So it was $200. I told him that, hey, I'll...
Tell him that. And then he says to you, okay, he's fine with it. And according to you, he communicates with you through JPay that he's fine with it, right?
Right. Telling him that I had his money.
Okay, when did you get his money?
I got his money, I'm going to say maybe February.
You think it was February that you got his money?
I put it in the drawer. And then 90 days is going to pass, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, I need to cash the check for him.
So do you communicate with him about that?
No, because he had got locked up too.
So he got locked up too?
He got locked up. He was already locked up, and I'm sitting with a check in my hand.
Okay, so what do you do?
So I'm like, okay, let me cash the check.
Okay, did anybody give you permission to cash the check?
No.
Okay, so you cash the check, and then the money goes into your account.
My account? Yes, ma'am.
When does the money go into your account?
April.
What happened between February and April?
The check was just sitting there.
Okay, so in April you deposited into your own account, and what do? How do you communicate with him?
That's when my JPay come in, not his.
So you JPay him and say what to him?
I say, hey, this is D's girl, D being him, and I said, and I also sent him $250 through JPay.
You sent him $250?
Right.
Did you get that $250 in your commissary?
No.
Well, according to her, she sent you through JPay $250. Didn't she tell you I sent you $250?
I didn't know.
How did you end up sending $250 of all things?
I didn't know who she was.
Well, because that's the max that you could send.
So, and you sent $250 because he asked you to send it?
No, I sent $250 because it's his money. Because
did she reach out to you and say?
I got a JPay saying this is Natasha. Not that she marries his girlfriend. She didn't tell me that she had my stimulus.
But she did reach out to you.
All it said, I got a JPay and I got something for you. It didn't say no money. It said I got something for you.
So doesn't she give you her number and don't you call her?
I got the number. I called her when I got out because I can't call her in the penitentiary.
Okay, well you can, right? You just called.
But when I got out, before I got in touch with her, I had already, because I hadn't received my $1,200 stimulus.
Well, how would you know? You don't know until you get out.
Exactly. And by that time, I had refiled the paper in prison.
Right. So in other words, you decide that you're going to apply for it, but you've already asked him to apply for it.
But I didn't hear back from him saying that he had approved.
You guys are best friends. You're talking whenever you can. Like, does the conversation come up?
Before he got arrested, he told me.
When did you get arrested?
Right before Halloween, October 29th, 28th, 30th, something like that.
Okay, so he gets arrested before the check comes.
He told me everybody else had got their checks and I never received the check.
All right. So now she reaches out to you in April and says,
but she don't tell me it's my stimulus. I don't even know.
Okay, but when she gives you the number and you call her finally when you're out of custody.
Right, but
what does she say? What does she say?
I'd already put a track on the check.
Okay.
First day
what
I got out.
What does she say?
She just said, I have some money for you.
And then you say.
How much?
Wait, you don't say from what?
No.
Okay, how do you know? Then
Because
that means you know that she had already asked for your stimulus check.
I still didn't know that was his girl. I didn't know that was his girl.
Okay, so when some woman you don't know says, I got some money for you, cowboy, you just got out of jail, how is your first words, how much? As opposed to, who are you and why do you have my money?
Right. She'd tell me her name, but I didn't find out who she was until me and him was on the phone one day, and I still hadn't got no money from her yet, right? I was supposed to meet her because I kept getting put off.
You didn't ask her, why do you have my money?
No. I'm talking to
Okay, and according to you, does he ask you, tell me how the conversation goes.
First of all, when the J-Pay, I say, hey, so I can let him know, this is D's girl, I got your money. I put D so he can know that this was the agreement that we had. And then I left my number. When he called me, he's like, hey, you said you had money for me. I said, I put in the email that this is D's girl, this D girl. I said, I got your money. Where do you want me to meet you at? I drove 45 minutes from my house and handed him cash money in his hand.
How much money did you hand him?
It was $700.
And you agreed to that you got $700,
yes,
right?
I said that.
And
okay, so the first thing you did was call the IRS and clear up this whole problem that you were making a claim on that $1,200, right?
No.
Oh, wait.
I already filed the claim.
I know you already filed it, so you withdrew the claim, right? You told them,
No.
wait, I gotta file other paperwork, I gotta let the IRS know, because they're gonna end up paying you that again.
Well, I still haven't received nothing.
Yeah, but you know you're gonna, right?
I don't know.
Because that's what's happening. And you've got proof that what? He already got the $1,200?
No, I got proof that they took the $1,200 back from my account.
Yes, of course they did, because when he puts in his paperwork, what he's saying to them is, no one knows where my check is.
Right.
So your position, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Your position then is, I gave him everything that our agreement was.
Exactly.
Because according to you, you're supposed to get $200.
But I was gonna charge him another $200 to cash it.
Why would you charge him $200?
Because that's my time. When I called him and I said, I got $700 for you. And he said, okay, come and bring it.
Okay.
There's the agreement in my mind.
No, that's not an agreement.
Not to
that's
mention
not an agreement that's all he's going to. He just wants to get his hands on at least the $700.
And it was in the text messages. I said, and it was in the text messages that I put in there. I'm a very detailed person. I put $200 to process, $200 to cash. But
listen, you keep saying that, and all I need from you is this. Watch this. Did you agree to pay her $400 to do this for you?
I didn't agree to pay nothing. I thought they were going to mail me my check in the prison.
Right, so here's where we are. What I need then from you is proof that he agreed for you to keep some money.
So here's the proof. Whenever I got this letter in the mail, I sent it to him and I said, you need to call your friend and let him know he already got his money. Now it's like he's double dipping. And he told Demarius, as soon as that check comes in, I'm gonna give it to you, D, so she can cover the cost of her thing. He told him that on multiple occasions, more than 3 times, and then he stopped answering his phone calls and text messages.
Did you tell him, as soon as I get that $1,200, I'll pay her back?
I wasn't paying her back to $1,200 because she still owed me. Because she only gave me $700 cash. I was going to give her what she gave me.
Did you give her what she gave you? Because
she gave me $700 cash.
You know damn well that you asked them to take care of this for you. Then, through a series of unfortunate events, he ends up in prison. She doesn't know how to reach you, I guess.
She reached out to me in prison.
Okay, she reached out to you in April.
She could have sent me my check because they was mailing the checks into the unit. That's how all the inmates got their check. And I would have deposited in my own
account. At any point in time between October and April, did you reach out to her to find out where your check was?
The last time I talked to him, he said they never received the check.
Yes, that was in October.
And the other
so
people,
in between October and April of the following year.
The other people they had filed for, I wasn't the only one they filed checks for.
Did they charge everybody $200?
I don't know, because he didn't tell me he was charging me, because I wouldn't have agreed to it. I wouldn't have agreed to it when I did it for free in the prison.
Mm-hmm. I did. Well, you didn't know you could do it for free in the prison until later.
But I never did hear from, the last time I heard from him, he said, man, everybody get their checks and yours didn't come. So
were you charging everybody $200, $250?
You told him that?
Yes, ma'am.
You were?
No, $200.
$200?
But I didn't do everybody, though. If he wasn't my buddy, I wouldn't even mess with it.
And not to mention, when I gave him that money, he was like, oh yeah, I'm cool. And he took that money like everything was good. And I deleted the text message and we moved on with life. And then all of a sudden,
I get this. It would still be wrong. Your math would still be wrong, because if you were charging $200, which is what you say you charge,
I charged
that's what you charged the other guy. Right. You ended up taking $250 from him.
Because the $250 was a mess up, because it should have been $400.
Yeah, except for I'm not going to buy that, because you can't just make things up. No, you have to show me proof of things.
Right, but the proof is not there, but this is what it is. I was charging $200 to process it and $200 to cash it. And I told him that in text message.
Except for you charge everybody else only $200,
because
not $400.
I didn't cash their checks. It might be, it sounds ridiculous coming out now.
It does, because you had that money in your account to play with between November and April. How did you reach out to him in April? Why didn't you just reach out to him in November when you cashed the check?
Well, because I thought he was going to reach out to him.
Except for you know that in October, he can't reach out to him and he's in custody, so that's not true.
I said, okay, let me go through J-Pay. I didn't know.
Yeah, but it took you 6 months?
It did, because I didn't think about it.
What made you think about it in April?
Because I'm like, I need to give this man his money. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
We're done. All right, so here's what's going to happen. The $700 has already been from you to him, and the $250 I'm going to assume has already been from you to him, but we're going to help you to find that $250 through we'll try to help you to find that so that you can locate that and get paid that. So she is out $950.
Okay.
And then there's $200 that I find you did agree to pay for. And then there's $50 still owed to you because she did the math wrong. So she should have given you $750 that day. That's what should have happened that day. But she only gave you $700. And then you need to call the IRS to get that $1,200 paid to you because the IRS already has that $1,200 because they already took it out of her account. Mm-hmm. And now you've got a counterclaim against her for $500 for the remaining balance owed. But of course, everything I just said takes care of that, because what's going to happen is what I find to have been the original deal, which is she gets $200, not $400, and she has to give you the rest. She's given you $700 and $250. She's going to give you another $50 in court, and that will make you whole. Okay? You're suing him for $1,200.
I just want my account cleared up.
I know. Well, you can't get your account clear up is your business. Next time, don't forge people's checks.
Do it.
Right? Yeah, that's your problem. You go do that on your own. He can't clear it back. He doesn't have a magic wand to clear your bank again. So now you are out $950.
Right.
Plus your fee of $200, which is a total of $1,150 that you are out while you're standing here. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
I am ruling in your favor in the amount of the $1,150. I'm fine with that. You are out.
That's perfect.
Okay. Verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,150.
Thank you, Judge. I love you.
So, in what turned out to be a very complex case, the plaintiff is going to get $1,150. That's just $50 less than she was seeking. Mr. Lindsay, what are you thinking about this right now? This turned out to be a really tough case.
No, I'm thinking it's fair. She gets her money back for her bank account, and I'll just wait on the IRS to send me my check.
Well, I'm glad you're out. I'm glad you're free right now, and I hope you get your money, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay?
All right.
All right. I'll get Miss Fontenette out here and find out how she feels about this case. Miss Fontenette, how are you? What are you thinking now? You're smiling. You're happy.
I am smiling.
You love the
happy.
judge, you said.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that my account is in good standing and that I got the money that was owed to me.
You are an expensive lady to deal with. You know that?
That's what they say.
Yeah, I mean, you wanted $200 to get the check, another $200 to cash it? Man, you
Time
are
is
tough
money.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you
right,
very much.
thank you.
Good luck to you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, Doug, look, this case doesn't cross the criminal line, but I got to tell you that when you mess around with banks and bank accounts, there can be serious, serious trouble. You could easily be committing felonies when you cross that line, felonies that could put you in prison for years.
I did a pre-arrangement for my funeral, paid in full within 90 days so there'd be no interest, but I've changed my mind. And when I called them, they told me my surrender amount would be $5,700 out of the $10,500 I paid. Can I sue them to get the full amount I paid back?
It's okay to pre-plan for that sort of thing. I don't think it's a good idea to prepay for that sort of thing.
But some people just buy it outright. Her question is, it sounds like
she's got to read the fine print.
Exactly. The odds are that this contract probably covers this circumstance.
It probably does. But, as a consumer, you have to be informed. You have to know about that. You got to read the stuff.
Sign.
Or you might have signed that away. But, ideally, I think you want that last check you write to bounce, don't you? Kind of. right at the end.
The bounces, you got nowhere to rest for your eternal rest. But.
Right.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
This is the plaintiff, Cheyenne Rodney. She says she hired the defendant to make her an elaborate dress for her carnival-themed 21st birthday. And the woman had the audacity to try her dress on and send her a picture of her wearing it. Yuck. That's like the woman trying on her undergarments, and that's just gross. She's suing for $1,700, the cost of the costume and photo shoots. This is the defendant, Angie Smith. She says she admits she may have overstepped her bounds by a bit by trying on the dress, but she wanted to show the plaintiff the headdress along with the gown and thought she'd be happy to see it all together. Bottom line, the plaintiff took the gown and she isn't owed a refund. She's accused of soiling a relationship. The defendant has filed a countersuing for $1,047.34 for unpaid work.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that she hired the defendant to make an elaborate costume for her 21st birthday. But before the birthday, the defendant put the costume on and then posted it on social media. Now, the defendant says all she wanted to do was show the plaintiff the dress and headpiece and thought she'd be happy. It's the case of you put the twit in Twitter.
I have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Ms. Rodney. You are suing Ms. Smith for $1,700 in damages. You say you are out as a result of her forcing you to miss a photo shoot and emotional distress. You have a counterclaim against her, Ms. Smith, for $1,047.34 for emotional distress and more money you feel you should have been paid for your work. All right, let's start with you, Ms. Rodney. What's going on here?
Okay, so on October 9th, I believe, I contacted Naj about getting a costume made for a shoot that was supposed to take place on November. It was originally supposed to take place on November 8th. I told her, however, that I needed it for November 7th, which was a day in advance, to make sure that I did get the outfit in time.
Okay, but what was the photo shoot for?
My 21st birthday.
Oh, okay. Okay, so go on.
Correct. So I let her know that I would only be able to pay about $350 for the costume in its whole. So she worked with me. We were able to make some adjustments to the costume to make it fit my budget, and that's what we went with. Ultimately, the outfit wasn't finished until 3 a.m. on November 7th.
And the photo shoot was scheduled for November 8th, but she thought it was for November 7th.
Exactly.
So you get a text at 3 o'clock in the morning on November 7th saying it's ready.
With the actual full photo of the costume.
Okay, but then everything should have been fine because you would have had the whole day of November 7th to get the costume. What ended up happening on November 7th?
So I told her that I would be running errands throughout the day, and we had to figure out what time we wanted to meet up. She told me that she lived in Jersey, so that she would either have to bring it to me that night or earlier the next day, because I did let her know that my photo shoot did get pushed back because I was running so many errands. So I told her she had the full day.
But one would think this would be a pretty important errand to make sure to be available for it to be delivered. So what was the plan that was made between you guys?
The plan that was made was for it to get delivered. She notified me that she lived in Jersey, so she would either come tonight or tomorrow morning to bring it to me. Let me know your preference. I said, okay, no problem. She said, let me know when you're done running all your errands for the day, and I'll see if I'll be able to bring it to you that night or early in the morning.
And when did you let her know that you were done running your errands?
9 p.m.
And what did you say when you sent her that text?
I said, I'm guessing tonight may be too late.
Okay. And then she doesn't answer that text, right?
No.
All right, so then the next morning, what time do you connect with her? Now, this is the day of the actual photo shoot.
Correct.
Right.
I wrote her at 8:31 a.m. and I asked, good morning, how soon can you drop it off?
Right.
I didn't get an answer to that message either, so I wrote her again at 9:49 a.m.
And what time was your photo shoot?
It was scheduled for 1 p.m.
We're cutting it close, ain't we? I mean, I guess we should have been around to receive it the day before, but anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. To mention with that, I also did let her know that my mother would be home all day.
So why didn't you just, see, here's what I'm looking for in the text. I'm looking for you saying to her, drop it off, my mother's home. I'm looking for that, but I don't see that. I see instead you saying, I'm running errands, I'll let you know when I'm done. And then your errands don't end until 9 p.m. I mean...
Yes.
You know, and that's when you make yourself available at 9 p.m. And then what you say to her, it's too late tonight. So you were fine with her dropping it off in the morning. So now we got to calculate. Yeah, unless there's traffic. So what happens? She is in traffic. There's an accident. She's sending you texts. She's telling you. What time does she actually get to you?
1:18 p.m.
What time was the photo shoot?
1 o'clock.
Right. So that didn't work out very well. So what happened? Did you have to reschedule the photo shoot?
I had to pay a cancellation fee for that photo shoot, and I had to rebook another photo shoot for the following day after I got off of work.
With the same photographer?
No, I wasn't able to rebook with that same photographer because of the way he had his booking set up. He was already booked for the month.
Okay. Do you have any proof that you had to pay a cancellation fee?
I have the message from the photographer itself, but not the payment sent out.
I'm going to need proof that you paid $350 because you're asking to be, that's one of the things that you're asking to be reimbursed for. So,
right, the $350 is for the costume that I paid her. And
I'm sorry, I need to see that you lost a $300, you're suing for $350 for the costume, which you accepted, by the way, right?
I didn't, she wouldn't take it from me. Like,
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Choice.
You have the costume, right?
Correct.
All right. Now, you're also suing for $300 deposit for this photo shoot because you are telling me that you lost that money and a $50 cancellation fee for the photo shoot. So what that $350 is a $350 I'm referring to. Do you have any proof that you incurred that $350?
Yes, I have my receipts.
Let me see that receipt. And while you're looking for that, Ms. Smith, you talk to me. Why is it cut so close like this? These are, the only cases I get are these, the ones where everybody's panicking at the last minute and trying to hustle and get it over there. If it was done at 3 o'clock the day before, on November 7th, it was done at 3 a.m. Why are you texting her at 3 a.m. anyway?
I wanted to make sure that she saw that it was done. The next morning, I made sure I reached out to her. I was readily available. I wanted her to know her piece was done.
Did she ever tell you, my mother's home and you can drop it off at any time?
Not that I recall.
No, and it's not in the text. That's why I'm asking you that. But she says she told you that.
That was not a conversation.
No. All right.
No, so that wasn't a conversation.
When she sends you the text at 9 p.m. and says, I'm done with my errands, I'm home now, but it's too late tonight. Did you actually see that text or you didn't see it until the next day?
I didn't see it until the next day because I had fallen asleep. I had been speaking with her throughout the day. She suddenly had issues about the costume. She didn't like the headpiece. There were different items that she wanted me to change. But by that time, I had utilized all the materials for the costume.
Okay. On the day that you're delivering it, what is said between you two when you get there?
So the issue with the day that I was trying to deliver was I was trying to meet her at the actual photo shoot itself. She refused to give me the address. She was insistent that it was a closed set. The photographer didn't want anybody else there.
Well, I don't think you're describing it accurately. I read all these texts. What she said to you was, the photographer says no, but let me work on it. She wanted you to meet her there. The photographer wouldn't allow it. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. I'll be honest, this was 2020. I don't have the text messages in front of me, but I was trying to, at least if I could drop it off to her there, that would have made more sense than me traveling all the way to the other side of Brooklyn. It would have been easier for me to get to her there, especially considering that the time was cutting it so close. Once I arrived to her home, she was getting out of a cab. It didn't seem like she was ready in any way, shape, and or form. I went to the door. She was visibly upset. I could see that. She expressed that she had missed the photo shoot. I did apologize. I had given her my location, everything. I kept her abreast of my location at all times.
Was there an accident on the highway or something?
Yes, when I was trying to get over the George Washington, it was all the way backed up.
So what do you say to her?
When I see her, I do apologize for it. And at that point, there's the invoice that she received. It does say it's a custom piece. There are no refunds for these items. She took it. She went inside. Once it's in her possession, that's it.
Right. What is she? Well, I'll be the judge of that. I'll be the judge of who breached the contract here, because this is just a contracts case, guys. You guys understand that. It's a contract case.
Right.
So I need to decide whether someone breached that contract or not. Let me ask you a question, Ms. Smith. So she took it and she is saying, I'm out $1,700 because I waxed that day for nothing.
She never
I missed
mentioned
work.
that to me.
I want you to pay for my old photo shoot and my new photo shoot, so I have a free photo shoot. I'm emotionally distressed by $400. When you say she wasn't ready in any way, shape, or form, did she have makeup on? Or you don't remember?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah.
I believe her hair was up. Her makeup may have been done.
Okay. Ms. Rodney, did you find any of the receipts I'm asking you for? Any of the proof of any of your damages?
I'm still scrolling through. I got a new card, so I'm trying to see if I can.
Okay, because you've provided the court with zero evidence of your damages. Zero. Like you haven't, other than, of course, the costume. But according to you, Ms. Smith, she used the costume, right?
She did use the costume. The pictures are on her social media.
This is the costume, correct? On the bottom right?
Yes.
These look like professional photographs, Ms. Rodney. So did you end up having your professional shoot?
I had to get off work early the next day to rebook with another photographer to get the shots in order to get them done for my birthday dinner in time, yes. In order to get them done for what? My birthday dinner. The photo shoot photos were to be displayed at my 21st birthday dinner. Okay. I do have a screenshot of the first payment I sent out.
We don't need to, the payments aren't in dispute. So just prove to me that you're out money. I need to see that. Like, for example, one of the things you say is I paid a different photographer $250. Prove to me that you paid a different photographer $250. Okay, no problem. And also prove to me that you had to pay for makeup a second time, which you also haven't shown me. And prove to me the paperwork. I didn't pay for makeup a second time. Okay. Well, then how'd you waste the makeup? The first day. Because the first day I cried the makeup off because I didn't go to any photo shoot. You haven't even provided me with a makeup receipt. And also, if you missed work, I'm going to need to see proof of missed work, like from your employer. I missed work because I took off work. You're not listening to me. I didn't ask. That's the answer to why did you miss work. My question is, you're the plaintiff and you have the burden of proof. You can't just come here and say, give me $1,700. You've got to prove the things you're saying. So if you're asking for a specific amount for missed work, prove the specific amount for missed work by giving me something from your employer saying that you missed work. That's how every litigant does it. I mean, you can't just come in and have a laundry list of complaints and then not have any backup for it, especially when I see that you took photos and that you posted them on Instagram and that you've gotten the use of the costume that you had made for you, custom made for your 21st birthday to post at your party. Okay. Now, you have a counterclaim against her while she's looking for that, and your counterclaim is for a $65 consultation fee. Because what? Because you didn't charge her for it and now you wanna?
Well, because I was willing to work with her.
And now you don't wanna?
She presented.
I know, but that's the deal you struck with her. How do you have the right to change a deal after it's struck? And a delivery fee, $180.72, miles worth of gas and tolls, $50 in tolls, only in New York, man. It's crazy.
Unfortunately.
I understand, but that was never the deal with her. In other words, if the photo shoot had been at 5 and you had given her the costume, you would only get what you were going to get, which was a $350. $300 difference between actual cost of costume, meaning because you're worth more than you quoted. But again, I'm here to enforce the contract you struck, not the contract you wish you had because now you're angry that you got sued. And then what's your emotional distress? $450 for your emotional distress.
Since working with her, it's been very difficult for me to even create anything. Also, upon finding out about this information, I am pregnant. This also brought an added anxiety and stress.
Okay, everybody's got to put their big girl panties on. And honestly, come on.
That's fine.
All right? You know, come on. Why are you stressed out? She used it in the Instagram photo. Your premise is that she's not out anything and that she's just trying to make money off of you. That's your premise. So why are you stressed out? Don't stress the peanut in your belly. You know, make sure the peanut is safe and don't worry about this. On to the next thing. That's like, you know, all right. And Ms. Rodney, how are you $400 out in emotional distress if you ended up using the costume anyway? Because I literally had no choice. My shoot, everything was planned to the T. I gave her not so much. Timing. If you're running errands at 9 p.m., it's not planned to the T. And if you don't say once on Saturday, come today, and if you say come tomorrow, it's like both of you shouldn't have done that if the shoot was at 1, but especially you, because you know what time the shoot is. According to you, you're upset because she tried on the costume. Tell me about that. Okay, so yes, she tried on the costume. She sent me a photo at 3 a.m. with the costume fully. And tell me why that's a problem. It's literally the middle of the pandemic, if not early it's not the beginning. It's not a costume. It's not an outfit that you can put in the washing machine to then clean to give it back to me. It's a skin on contact thing. It's a bra and a panty. So it's not like
she could have actually washed it or actually sanitized it before giving it back to me. It's just like you put on the outfit that I already paid you in full for and then gave it to me. And I was just supposed to be okay with that.
Yeah, that is a little creepy. Why did that happen, Ms. Smith?
Completely understand. It was going to get sanitized either way.
How?
The problem was the back and forth communication between her and
How would it get
because it was during COVID.
Yeah, okay. As far as I know, you cannot get COVID from your private parts, but it's just creepy.
Right,
so,
but
why would you put it on? Why would you put on a client's outfit without waiting for their response? You probably shouldn't have done that.
It was because of the way that the conversation was going with me trying to figure out, do I need to go and get more material? What do I need to do to accommodate her since she was saying that she no longer wanted this and she was making provisions to the costume at the last moment?
This is you showing on November 7th at 3:02 a.m. You're showing her the finished piece. And she answers at 7:30 a.m. Oh, my God, I love it. And then she's asking you again, what time and where should I meet you? I'm not sure if you were able to speak with the photographer. And then you show her at 10:26 what you propose to wear and tell her he switched the shoot to tomorrow at 1. I'm on my way home now, though, if you wanted to meet and show me how to tie it. And then she answers, blah, blah, blah. You can wear something like that. It's all still the morning. And she says, okay. Right. So like I told you before, I do live in Jersey, so I can come out there tonight or tomorrow morning to bring it to you. You let me know your preference, honey. Why don't you just say, bring it now? My mother's there. Were you able to get everything done for your shoot? Are you still running around? And your answer at 11:21 a.m. is I'm still doing a couple of runarounds. Why isn't your answer, go to my house and drop it off? My mother's there.
Because she kept insisting that she needed to show me how to tie it. My mother wasn't going to.
She didn't insist that. She said she could do that. All right. No. Then it says, all right, love, well, you get your stuff done. Everything is all done on my end. So you just let me know when. I got you, honey. Anyway, look, I'd like to know whether you found any receipts of any of the damages that you're claiming. That's my last question to you.
I have it pulled up. 1 second.
I've waited long enough. I'm not waiting anymore. You're the plaintiff, and you know when you come to court that you're the one who has to have your evidence ready to show the judge. You decide when you're filing a case. Don't file cases until all your ducks are in a row. All right, we're done. Here's how I'm going to rule. I don't think that you should have waited that long, but it's really not your problem, Ms. Smith. It's her problem. You were available to take it to her the entire time on Saturday, and she doesn't get back to you until 9 p.m. the night before. I don't see why it is you waited until 10:30 on the morning of to wake up and bring it over if you knew that it was at 1 o'clock. But by the same token, I don't see why the plaintiff waited. I just don't get it. I don't think you are the one who made that late appointment. I think it's the plaintiff, and I think it's your problem, Ms. Rodney. And this also isn't a costume that you needed for your wedding and your wedding pass. This is a costume you needed for a photo shoot, which I know you used for a photo shoot. And if you're cutting it close, you're the one cutting it close. My verdict in this case is for the defendant, but on the counterclaim 0.
So the plaintiff failed to prove her case. She spent most of the case looking for documents, which she should have had ready for the judge to see. So let me see what you feel about it, Ms. Rodney. It didn't work out for you. You lost the case. What are you thinking right now?
I'm not understanding how I could have lost the case. It's absolutely ridiculous. This whole case.
By the way, let me ask you this. You had a photo shoot, but this was all for your 21st birthday. How did you use the dress? Just in the photo shoot? Did you wear that to your birthday party?
No, it was done for the photos for my birthday to be displayed at my birthday dinner.
And we haven't heard anything about the dinner. How did it work out? How was it?
It was fun, all things considered.
So the party did work out for you. So it was a good party. You just had problems getting, what I assume, are you a model? And had photos all around the room?
I'm not a model, but the photos that was the idea, yes.
All right. Very good. Well, unfortunately, you lost the case, and, that's the way it is. Ms. Smith, let me talk to you. You're off the hook. How do you feel about this dispute?
Honestly speaking, it's a little disheartening. I was trying to work with the young lady with hopes that, we could foster a great relationship, and it appears that no matter how kind you may be, willing to be for somebody, it's never enough. So learn my lesson there. Got to put business first.
And also, I guess you learned a lesson about trying on an outfit and showing the party. That wasn't a great idea either, was it?
Absolutely. Okay. I agree there. 100% lessons learned across the board, so I can't be upset for that part.
Okay, very good. All right, that'll bring this case to a close. Harvey, what do you think about this?
So, Doug, we've talked about it before. I mean, there are two elements to every civil lawsuit. One is liability, and then one is damages. Liability means you have to prove that the other person did something wrong. Forget about money for a minute. That they did something wrong. In this case, the defendant didn't do anything wrong. In the plaintiff's head, the defendant did, but it's just not the case. And even if it were the case, then the issue is damages. Fact is, the plaintiff wore the dress. No harm, no foul. The plaintiff loses.
Can someone take the bar exam without a law degree?
They can if they're in the right state. There are 4 states that will allow you to just go sit for the bar exam, and if you pass it, voila, you're a lawyer. And it's Vermont, Virginia, California, and Washington.
I know California because I kind of remember something about one of the Kardashians trying to take it or something.
Right. I mean, just think of that. You could save 3 years. Right? But,
Our daughter just graduated from law school, and I bought her a T-shirt that said, if it takes 3 years, it better be one hell of a bar.
That's right. Well, there are also 3 states that will allow you to take a little bit of law school, like a year or 2, and then the balance of it as an apprentice with a law firm or a lawyer, learning your way along. You still got to pass the bar.
I highly recommend law school, though.
Absolutely.